Africa says the need for international action has never been more urgent, following a United Nations report finding that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. The UN report states that since October 2023, Israel has breached 4 out of 5 genocidal acts under international law, with clear intention to destroy Palestinians living in Gaza. Now, Israel, which has now advanced into Gaza City, has rejected the report. Nearly 65,000 people have been killed in the region since the war began almost 2 years ago. South Africa, which has taken the case to the International Court of Justice, has reiterated calls for all states to immediately fulfill their obligations under the Genocide Convention.
This report stands as a stark confirmation of the very dire situation that compelled South Africa to approach the International Court of Justice in December 2023. The International Court of Justice subsequently issued 3 successive orders on the provisional measures. It is with profound disappointment that the Commission's report highlights the regrettable fact that these binding interim orders have not been heeded by Israel. It is increasingly clear that the Palestinian people are facing a threat of erasure in real time. The entire system of international law is on the line. At stake is not merely the fate of the Palestinian people, but the very principle of justice over impunity.
Now, the UN's Independent Commission of Inquiry released that report yesterday to the Human Rights Council, concluding that Israeli forces are committing genocide in Gaza. Human rights groups worldwide have reacted strongly, even Amnesty International South Africa. The executive director, Shenilla Mohamed, has urged the international community to halt arms transfers and reconsider trade ties with Israel. We speak to her now. Shenilla, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. It's just a global call that keeps on going unanswered, it seems. It feels as though the commitment to ensuring that the situation in Palestine and in Gaza is reversed and is fixed is just going unheard and unlistened to.
Well, good morning, firstly, to you and to your viewers. Look, Obile, I mean, I think that, how many more reports do we need for the international community and international leaders to take action? I mean, there is no more time for excuses. As you rightly said earlier, over 60,000 people have died so far, and on a daily basis, this is continuing. So, I mean, the evidence that Israel is committing genocide continues to mount, and the international community can no longer claim that they didn't know. I mean, they need to take action. They need to fulfill their legal and moral obligation to firstly halt the genocide, but they also need to exert all possible diplomatic, economic and political pressure to ensure that they meet immediate and lasting ceasefire. Because, at the end of the day, I think that if these countries do not take this seriously and take immediate action, then they too are culpable, they too are liable, they too are enabling this genocide, and action needs to be taken against these countries as well.
In accordance with the Genocide Convention, I wanted to ask you if you could help us just unpack what countries are legally obliged to then do in accordance with that convention.
Well, I think that, once a genocide has been declared, that there is a genocide, and, for your viewers who may not know this, that, in this particular situation, Israeli forces and authorities have committed 4 acts. These include killing members of the group, causing them serious bodily or mental harm, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, and imposing measures intended to prevent births. Critically, it is also important that we determine intent. So genocide is really about intent and execution. And I think that, we have our report with Amnesty as well as this report has very clearly demonstrated that the Israeli authorities have genocidal intent, and their plan is to destroy in whole or in part the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. So that is a genocide convention. But all states are now obliged to take action. And this really has to be in a number of ways. One is complete isolation. That's one way to do it. The second one is any country that is supplying Israel with arms has got to stop immediately. And we know that the USA is really top of that list, but many countries in Europe have also been providing them with arms. And then, of course, the trade links. There are many countries that are trading with Israel, and we have to, they have to really reconsider that, because by supporting Israel, they are enabling this genocide to continue. So there are a number of actions that can be taken, and of course, the ultimate place where this has to land is at the International Criminal Court and at the ICJ, where those that have been identified as being liable have to face the full wrath of the law. And in the report by the Commission of Inquiry, they have actually named 3 people. One is Benjamin Netanyahu, the other one is the defense minister, I think it's Yoval Gallant, and then I think the third one is the president herself. So I think these are the 3 people that have been named. But I think that as time goes by, more and more people will be facing the ICJ and the ICC, and really I think it's going to be interesting or critical in the next few days to see how these countries, especially those that have influence on Israel and those that are betting Israel, how they are going to stop doing what they're doing. And I think that's going to be the test. And as you said earlier, this is not just about Israel. This is a test of the international institutions. And at the moment, while we may be critical that there's some weaknesses there, but that's all we've got. And the people of Palestine, really, they deserve, firstly, to have this nightmare come to an end, and secondly, for them to see justice.
Yeah. There was a whole sense of Gaza's heritage ultimately here being destroyed as well. The current state of Gaza City, we've just been showing some of those visuals, absolutely horrific. South Africa did take Israel to the ICJ. And if we bring it back home, we've also had the statement by DIRCO itself speaking about the United Nations Human Rights Council's independent International Commission of Inquiry. What more can South Africa do?
I think South Africa has been amazing. South Africa has stood firm. I think South Africa has really played a leadership role and is not stepping back. And I think, it's a moment for all of us to be extremely proud of our country and what is being done there. But, at the end of the day, I think that South Africa needs the support of other countries. And this is growing. More and more countries are joining the action that South Africa has taken at the ICJ. Yeah. And I think that, South Africa must continue to do what they're doing. They don't stand still. They're continuing to file papers. They're continuing to challenge the situation. And, even when it came to famine, if you think about, war crimes, in addition to genocide, the people of Palestine are facing crimes against humanity, war crimes, famine. It is an absolutely intolerable situation. And South Africa, I think, is doing an amazing job, and we will see justice. And I think, it really is up to everyone to continue to push for this.
Shenilla, Mohamed, from Amnesty International South Africa, thank you so much for the time.